morning, class. Happy, beautiful Saturday to you folks. Hope you all are happy, healthy, safe at home, wherever you are self-quarantining right now. Today, what we're going to do is hopefully we're going to be able to accomplish your vehicle extrication lecture and demonstration here. We're out behind the fire station we were initially supposed to meet at way back in April. What our goal is today is we're going to talk about some of the rescue equipment that we would use to get somebody out of a vehicle when it's trapped. Once we talk about that, we're going to go ahead and demonstrate how we would stabilize the vehicle, keep it safe for the rescuers and the people trapped in the car while we go ahead and work on getting them out. Once we get through that, we're going to demonstrate how we would cut that car apart and show off the tools and how they work and what they're capable of. And at the end of all that, we'll show you how we're going to go ahead then and get the victims out of the cars and packaged up and ready for transport to the hospital. So stay tuned, hope you have fun and enjoy the show. Alright, so class, the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to talk about the tools that we carry here in the town of Manchester. In Manchester, we have two rescue companies that carry a complement of rescue equipment, hydraulic rescue equipment. So to go over what we have here on one of these engine companies is Lieutenant Jeff Sneller and the crew of Engine Company 1 to talk about what these tools do, what they don't do, a little bit of safety about them, and what you can expect to see them do today while we go ahead and film this extrication.
Good morning, class. Thank you, Ms. Goulet. So commonly what you'll see with almost all rescue companies will be a hydraulic rescue set. At times it may be battery powered. Here we have a pump set. We have reels, so we leave the pump in place, or we also have standalone hoses here as well. We start off with the spreaders. Obviously they spread, they can also pinch and crush. Here, the O-cutters, obviously just a big pair of heavy duty scissors. And we have a couple of telescoping rams. Some can do the push-pull. These pretty much just ram outwards with different tips to help with the spreading. We also have some wheel chocks, see blocks of wood, shims, and we also have, just grab that Sawzall over there. Another tool that's pretty common is actually a battery-powered Sawzall to get through the rest of the metal, sheet metal, and posts. We also use some basic hand tools, aside from a set of irons. Grab that. We use a flat bar to pry off some of the interior moldings, which as EMTs, if you're the inside rescuer, maybe one of your jobs, pry and inspect before we cut. Also have a glass master, wonderful for cutting a windshield of a car. Set of wire cutters, we'll show you that hopefully on the doors before we kill them. And at times also a hacksaw, are just a few of the tools. And then the set of irons is just an axe and something we call, they haven't covered like a Halligan bar or anything, right? So it's a Halligan bar, just used for maybe making some entry or just giving us a little extra room. And that's just it for our basic set of tools that you would see pretty much on any rescue truck. There's several different stabilization items and other tools that some other companies that may have some more extensive cache, but that's pretty much what we'll be using today.
Perfect, thank you for that. So what we're going to do, class, we're going to get set up right now to go ahead and stabilize these vehicles. We'll show you what's entailed with that, and then we're going to go ahead and cut these cars up. All right, class, so this is going to be a vehicle we're going to use here for our extrication. We haven't done anything with this vehicle yet. First thing we want to do on any call we go to, of course, is take into account our BSI and scene safety. So as we walk around this vehicle here, we're going to start to size it up and look for a couple different things. We want to look for any hazards, look for anything that may be leaking out of the vehicle, any gasoline, motor oil, transmission fluids, things like that that can make it slippery, things like that that'll make it flammable and dangerous for us to work on. We want to take into account the number of patients we have. When we step back here, you can see in the front seat there we look like we have 2 patients. Can't see too well into the back seat yet, but we'll get there eventually. So we know we have at least 2 patients, so we need to start making accommodations for resources that we might need. Other hazards we're looking for, power lines, of course, other vehicles on the roadway, wherever we are. We just want to first do a quick walk around the vehicle, again, just to make sure that it's as safe as it can be. So we can come up here now, no hazards around. Believe it or not, these are our 2 victims. Nobody there in the back seat, so we know we have 2 victims we need to work with. And let's make them both unconscious because, well, that's what we do here in EMT class. We just make it a little challenging for you. So there, we walked around, we determined what hazards we had. Fortunately, there weren't any. Now we can attempt to gain access to our patient. Door's locked. Door's locked. Door's locked. Door's locked. And don't forget, we have a back way we can go in, but nobody's going to fit too well out of there. No one's going to fit too well out of there. So at this point here, we'll make the determination that we'll need to use mechanical extrication to go ahead and get these patients out. So class, what this crew's doing here right now is they're stabilizing the vehicle. The goal of stabilizing the vehicle is to keep the vehicle from rocking and moving during the course of the extrication here. All right, when we talk about vehicles moving around, vehicles can move in a couple different directions. They can go front to back, they can go left to right, they can go up and down. The goal is to keep the vehicle immobilized through the entire process here so that it's safe for both the people inside the vehicle and also safe for us outside the vehicle. We don't want to be in the course of doing an operation here and then have the vehicle start to roll around on us and start to wheel away from us or jostle too much that it's going to cause additional injury to the folks inside the vehicle. So what we just saw here, these folks placed underneath the vehicle, those are step chocks. Those are going to go ahead and capture some of the suspension load from the vehicle to keep it stabilized while it's on its wheels. What you see up there towards the left of the front wheel, those are called wheel chocks. We're going to put those at the front and back of the vehicle's wheels here on either side of the vehicle to keep it stabilized in place so it doesn't slip out of gear and roll away on us. Additionally, what we can do also is inside the vehicle, put the vehicle into park. And if it's a standard, we can put the vehicle into gear and that'll help to additionally mobilize. Engage the parking brake inside of it as well. And once we have our vehicle stabilized, we'll be able to go ahead and begin our extrication process. Traditionally, what we do is we'll have one crew dedicated to go ahead and stabilizing the vehicle and another crew that'll be getting the extrication equipment set up. So now that we've got our vehicle ready for extrication, we need to get our patients ready for extrication. So this is going to be where part of the outside team is going to come up to our patients here, deploy one of these blankets over them, and that's going to protect them from any glass that's going to fall on them because all these windows are going to end up broken. Additionally, we're going to work on getting an exterior rescuer to the inside of the vehicle, so that person will be our inside rescuer. While they're doing this here, we can also get the patients some safety glasses, some eyeglasses to wear to keep any glass and such from getting into their eyes and keep them as safe as we can. The role of the interior rescuer, once they make access into the vehicle, is going to include making contact with the patient, determining the patient's severity and their injuries, triaging who needs to be removed first, and also to see if they can prepare the inside of the vehicle as best they can, depending on damage, for the extrication of the patient. This can include moving the steering wheel into a more upward position to free the legs. This can include also moving the seats back a considerable distance if the vehicle will allow, so that we can work on unentrapping their legs that may be stuck underneath the gas pedals, the brake pedals, clutches, and the dashboard.
See the cut right here, okay? Okay. Okay, good. Up there too.
As an interior rescuer, your responsibilities will include letting the outside team know if any of the movements that they're making on the vehicle, if any of the changes in dimensions to the vehicle that they're making are going to impact the patients and going to impact patient care inside. This means letting them know if while they're pulling this door open, if it happens to be pushing on one of the patient's legs, if while doing this here, one of the tools is starting to come in contact with the patient, you need to let the outside team know that so that they can go ahead and rectify that and try an alternative approach. Keep in mind that this is going to be a terrifying ordeal for your patients, there, provided that they're conscious. It's important that we maintain our calmness and that we explain to them that everything that they're hearing, that they're seeing, that they're smelling is calm. If the patient starts to complain of any increased pain during the course of this, we need to have the outside team stop and make sure that discomfort isn't a result of any of the movements and manipulation that these folks are making to the outside of the vehicle.
Nope, right in here. Make a cut there. That go all the way through?
No, I don't think so.
All right, class, so we're going to demonstrate right now as part of the gaining access portion to your patients. We're going to talk about breaking windows a little bit. What we're going to use here are spring-loaded punches to go ahead and break the window. A little bit safer, easier to control than using a blunt object, say like an axe or a halogen bar that you saw earlier. So on the left, what Cody's going to do is he's going to push in the corner. There goes the glass, and he should be able to use his protected hand to go ahead and take out the rest of the glass in there. On the right here, what Tom's going to do is the exact same thing. The difference is going to be this window has been taped beforehand. We try and keep the glass more concealed. There it goes, breaks. So Tom should be able now to push that more or less as one piece of glass through to decrease the amount of glass that's going to end up inside on our patients. All right, class, so the goal right now, our objective is to remove the roof off of the vehicle. As you can see on this side of the vehicle over here, the crew is working on cutting through each one of these posts. Remember, from your textbook, these are labeled A, B, C, D, up to however many posts you have down this side here. So right now, he'd be cutting with effectively our C post of the vehicle, and that last one on the corner is going to be our D post. Once we cut through these posts here, those are going to really realistically the only load supporting options for the roof. We'll be able to go ahead and pick the roof up as a crew and move it as a single unit off of the vehicle so we can get our patient out. interior, or excuse me, as being the interior rescuer on a crew like this here, what you want to do is let your crews know outside if you see anything labeled airbag as they go ahead and they peel away the side paneling inside. Up at the front of the vehicle, what's happening now is you're cutting the windshield out of the vehicle using the reciprocating saw, what we call a sawzall. That way there, when we remove the roof, it won't be sealed to the front of the vehicle via the windshield. So we cut that out, or at least detach it from the vehicle, so that when we lift, we can take everything out without getting hung up on anything. Remembering what we know about glass in vehicle, we know that the glass of the windshield, unlike the glass on the side of the vehicle, when we break it, is going to stay together. Remember, it's laminated and glued together with plastic protective covering on both the interior and the exterior of the glass. And you saw when the glass broke on the side of the vehicle here with tempered glass, that glass is designed to break so that it leaves edges that are a lot less sharp to decrease the likelihood of getting cut inside the vehicle. What you're going to see now, class, is they're going to lift the roof off of the vehicle and remove it completely. All the cuts have been made. There's nothing supporting the roof any longer. As the interior rescuer, your responsibilities will include making sure that whatever's left of that windshield is going to clear your patients and clear you, and making sure that they're safe and protected during this process. All right, folks, so now the mechanical portion of the extrication is complete. Now is the removal of the patient. As the interior rescuer, that person's going to be responsible for controlling the head, maintaining C-spine, and working with the crew here. Our goal for getting this patient out here is to pivot them onto this longboard. With them pivoted on here, somebody's holding the board at all times to keep it level with the seat. In coordinated movements, counting to 3, to control the person at the head. We're going to go ahead and we slide this person up the board until we have them safely on there, and we can remove the board, place it on the ground, reassess our patient, and then get them strapped down, prepared for transport to the hospital on the stretcher. During the course of the extrication here, you'll see that the person that was our interior rescuer has to transition to pass that responsibility on to somebody else. So as he's holding the head and the patient makes their way onto the longboard, he'll have to pass that off in a coordinated manner to another rescuer. All right, class, so that about wraps things up for today. We'll let you out a little early today. You're welcome. A couple key takeaways from this right here is, number one concern on this call and any call we go on, of course, is safety, safety, safety. First for ourselves, then for our patients. Remember, as the interior rescuer, you're providing a very unique set of eyes for the folks on the outside. You're an advocate for your patient at all times, so any additional discomfort they start complaining of or mentioning to you, you need to pass on to the outside crew so that the plan can be altered and changed to keep everybody safe. Remember your scene size ups, remember scene safety, remember to walk around the vehicle before you try and get in, and of course remember to try all the door handles before you try cutting them off first. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below, and other than that, have a great day, enjoy the rest of your quarantine, and we'll see you later.